Social Simmers, there was a laundry list released on November 25th for The Sims 4. I noticed I haven't been covering as much Sims 4 news lately, so I'm going to try to keep it a little bit more even between Sims 4 and Paralives going forward. So it says, "Hi Simmers, we are launching a laundry list where we'll update the community on what's coming next to The Sims 4. We're thinking about giving the series a new name and we would love your input. The laundry list is where we share updates about the topic you've been talking about most, so it only makes sense that you decide what it's called. Should we keep the current name or go with something more descriptive or try something totally new? Share your thoughts on Discord in our feedback forum that's available now. As we move beyond the 150 plus fixes that came in the November patch, we are committed to resolving your top community reported concerns. Many of the top community reported concerns are trickier ones to fix as they're deeply connected to other game systems and take more time to solve. That means you may see fewer fixes from this team, but each one will make a bigger impact and help create a more stable game overall. We also know the community concerns around careers have been on the top of the minds of Simmers, and you'll see some investment into those areas below. We have another batch of fixes for you in early 2026. More on that below December's fixes. These fixes are separate from the ongoing investigation into save file issues, which we've provided an in-depth update here. As a quick recap, we shipped the fix for residential units causing a white screen, and our investigation led into large saves, and Error 801 is providing great leads for future fixes. We've also recently published articles that can provide guidance for how to play performantly and how to back up your saves for extra peace of mind. As always, if you're hitting crashes, infinite loads, or missing lots, please read our post here to see how you can share effective saves so we can gather critical information to aid our investigations. So these are the top 5 fixes that they expect to see fixed in the December update. Number 1, children, teen, young adult, and elders will once again no longer have clothes visible under their privacy mosaic. However, the cause of this issue is different for other ages, and we're still investigating those instances to hopefully fix in the upcoming update. Sims will now be able to travel between lots and worlds without the season screen coming up. Male gallery Sims will no longer have high-pitched voices. They will use the correct voice tone. This is not retroactive and will only affect future saves going forward. They fixed an instance of save corruption that resulted from an error code. In this save, a Sim was dead, a ghost, and minimum LOD, not actively engaged by the player, which caused some code around small business careers to crash the game on load. And they made progress with children being taken away, not being neglected. More investigation is required before they can mark that one fully solved. So it looks like there's a bunch of base game updates, including teens will retain their active aspiration when they age up into young adults. The Nature Soundscape radio station will no longer wake up Sims when they're sleeping. They rebalance the mental fog moodlet that appears 3 to 4 days after running the work hard career tone. They put some new swatches into the armed living chair. The main menu will no longer show www when there's no active household to display. Sims will change their outfits in front of toddler Sims again. They fixed an issue where moodlet and quirk notifications could occur for young adult Sims. Good and evil Sims will no longer mourn excessively at the gravestones. So that is good. From Adventure Awaits, which was the most recent expansion pack, they're doing a partial fix to pre-made custom venues will now display and execute their pre-made schedules in the release mode version of the game. This means when you load into a custom venue lot, you will now see the proper schedule and gameplay. This was previously only working on our internal build due to some code that needed to be changed. They also fixed the masculine style choice. All toddler and children hairstyles are now visible if you remove the masculine and feminine style choice filters. They fixed the missing fashion tag. So they fixed some small stuff. I know Adventure Awaits has some bigger issues, like clipping with the kayaks and stuff, so we'll see when they get to that. Business and hobbies, they just added some missing swatches and fixed the wallpaper. I guess that's all they need to do with that. Cats and dogs, they fixed an issue where you couldn't have more than 7 Sims in a household. That's because a household with an empty Sim slot reserved for an adopt a cat story arc that the player couldn't know is happening in the background. This new story arc will now wait until there's an available household slot and will not prevent the addition of a new household member in the meantime. Sims will no longer receive a text from their pet about missing curfew. And they added time restrictions for how often the pet can explore the poohoo bush every 3 days. That was causing them to get sick, and it was happening too frequently. I never played with cats and dogs, so I didn't know that, but that's interesting. Our city living Sims in a social media career can now automatically meet their coworkers so they can perform certain work tasks. Okay, Cottage Living, they added a shadow to the pack icon, I'm sorry. For Rent, they fixed the lines on the shirt if the Sims are wearing nails. For Get Famous, the Attend Drama Club interaction will now be available as a self interaction and on other household members when a teen sim is at the max level in drama and is left for rehearsal. Okay, from high school years, the corn dog food object is no longer using a block model. This also fixes related issue or didn't appear in preview UI images. From Life and Death, house parties and spooky parties have been added as viable options for the bucket list goal. I want to throw the most bizarre costume party of all time. Ghost Sims will no longer appear as regular living Sims while in the Grim Reaper career collecting souls. Mentor coworker interaction is available on a coworker while they're performing practice reaping on the training dummy. And ingesting ambrosia interaction will now be available to Ghost Sims when ambrosia is made by Sims from another household. This prevents Sims who are in the Reaper career from eating ambrosia. My Wedding Stories, this is a huge one. They fixed the issue that with the exchange vows interaction was grayed out on the wedding arc, even though the necessary Sims were present for the ceremony. That is amazing. I know people have had issues with forever. For Seasons, children and teens can now donate on the computer when in Scouts after school program. Now, they talked about these fixes, but they have some other fixes they want to focus on at the top of the year. So as we head into the new year, our team maintains focus on improving stability and performance across The Sims 4. We're actively working on the top community issues, targeting our January base game update. So these are the issues that they're talking about. So the makeup category for toddlers is currently working but requires CC to appear. They're looking into reports that it stopped working after the Business and Hobbies expansion pack release and that there may have been non-CC assets before, but they're looking for screenshots or clues to help them figure it out. They're having some issues with the memory boost feature. So this is optional for players on PC if they want to use it. They were able to load some of the saves, so it looks like a promising lead, but they're still in the process of testing this against different hardware scenarios. So they want people to fill out a survey if they're having this issue. A server error when uploading to the gallery or library is a top community issue, and they're trying to work on it. They've identified the main cause of Sims standing around instead of caring for infants and toddlers and plan on providing an update soon. Memorial portraits and graduate photos will no longer display a Sims image and are blank is another top issue they're going to focus on. Sims attending a work/school rabbit hole, not remaining in the rabbit hole when they load the save is another top issue. And then finally, Sims using objects obsessively is another issue. So they have these issues, but it seems like they need more information. You can go to these blue hyperlinks if you have more to share or saves to share or things like that. I also wanted to pop in to show you, if you have used the Sims 4 official Discord server, there is under the feedback forum, choose the laundry list name. And so people are making suggestions if you like to change the name or keep the name. You can definitely add that. It seems like people are saying things, not a lot. It only popped up today, so maybe that's why there's not a lot going on. Then also there was an earlier Q&A session that they did for November with the Sims Q&A team to just talk about the December 2nd update. I'll be honest, I didn't see anything super insightful or like life-changing in here. Some people asked, like, what's the prioritization system? There's some reports that have more than 30 plus votes that are sitting around waiting for more reports, while others with 3 votes get addressed instantly. People want to know what the thought process is. So Sim developer Alex said, I hear you. So I think it's important to point out that votes are not the only thing they use to decide what's important. There's also questions on when did the votes come and do we have the QA, like does QA have enough information to act on it? So there's going to be times where they need more info from players and they just never get it. The goal is to keep it in the needs info status and not to let things go stale in its special status. If there's a desire for something to be fixed, a new post can be made and we can switch the status. Nothing really dies on the forums. They just don't have a lot of access to fix it. So I think that's interesting. And it says, someone asked, when does the memory boost mode come to other platforms besides PC? Is it being planned? They're saying, so memory boost is being rolled out carefully because they want to make sure it works before they take it to Mac or consoles. What helps us is getting more people to use it. The more data we have, the more confident we can be about the rollout. So back up your saves and give the memory boost a spin to give us more data. I get that. It's only been out for like a month or two, so I could see where it's pretty new. They don't know how it works. I think it works fine, but I also don't play The Sims a ton, and I don't have as many bugs as other people seem to have. So, relative to what's going on, I think, they're doing the best they can with what's going on. But other than that, I don't think the live streams provide a lot of info. It takes them a long time to answer like basically any question. I think the first live stream was more successful because it was new and exciting. Now the live stream's just kind of meh. People didn't really enjoy it. But I'm glad that they're, trying to keep things transparent and tell us what's coming. So we know there's some big fixes in this December one. They're trying to make big fixes for the January one. It seems like they're going to be rolling out more fixes towards the top of the year. I just think it's a hard one for The Sims. They're going to be losing to a lot of competition. I mean, we got Paralives coming in early access in May of 2026, and Innsway is still updating their game currently. So it's like it's hard to know where it's going to land. But let me know in the comments below, did this latest laundry list move the needle for you?